everyone to GenInvest. This is the segment by where we want to give you the confidence to start investing in properties. And one of the things that we're going to be doing now is talking to people who should be a part of your power team. As a good friend of mine, Tyler. Okay, so Tyler's going to explain to us today why he should be a part of your power team or someone like him. So we're not going to say you have to definitely go with him, okay? But someone like him should be a part of your power team. So let's get into this interview. Tyler, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my name's Tyler. My business is Nabarro Poole Limited, and we're a firm of accountants. We help businesses, small businesses, property investors, restaurants, lots of different people take control of their finances, essentially.
Excellent.
Give them advice on tax, give them advice on the correct vehicle for their property or their business, and effectively support them throughout the process.
Excellent. Now, the first question is, why do you think it's so important to have a power team? So I speak to so many investors and they think about buying a property, but no one ever thinks about having a power team. Why do you think it's important to have a power team?
So for me, actually having a group of people around you that you can trust, that come recommended by friends or associates is absolutely vital in any business venture. And I think when we look at property investment, it's even more important. So if you find a good accountant, me,
wink, wink,
or anyone else, but if you find a good accountant and he can introduce you to a good lettings agent, somebody that he works with already, he trusts, then you're just building on that trust that's already been built up between two people. If that power team between the accountant, between the mortgage advisor, between the solicitor, if they know how to work well together, you can just slot into that, something you know is already working, has worked for many people before that. And that's why it's key, I think.
I think the great thing what you're talking about there is networking. Because I think when you first start off, it's like, who is who? But what you're saying is actually, if you get the first person, your accountant, get that on board, then you can refer people because you're in that game and love that.
Exactly right. And we've got a network of people. I've got a network of people that I work with, people that have done good work for me, for our clients in the past. So it just takes the guesswork out of it. Fantastic. It just takes the guesswork. The idea of anybody going on Google, finding somebody in that power team from anywhere else, it doesn't come from a direct referral. It's just madness.
Well, they always say in business, don't they, is referrals the best way to do anything.
100%.
Okay, so tell us, why is it so important then? Because I think most people that I talk to, and this is scary, and this is a fact, I'll give you a real life story actually. A friend of mine who is invested hasn't submitted any accounts. He bought a property 6 years ago and has never submitted an account. Not yet, okay? I don't want to tell you what, I'm not going to give you his name, okay? But that's the God's honest truth, that's gospel truth. So why would you say that it's important for anybody looking at in property investment to make sure that they have an accountant a part of their property, their power team?
Okay, so two things on that. One is that we get probably one person a year come in here and say, head down, I've got a problem. I've had this property for 3 or 4 years and I've never done anything about it and I'm worried. And so the first thing to say is to your friend is it's not too late. Come in, speak to somebody. HMRC will find out. That's the reality. And if they find out before your friend tells them, the penalties are outrageous. Huge. Absolutely outrageous. So if he goes in and tells HMRC, look, I made a mistake. I didn't realize what was going to happen. HMRC he'll have to pay back taxes and he'll have to pay some penalties. But we're talking about 5-10% penalties. If HMRC finds out, they could be up to 100%. 100% tax plus 100% extra for penalty because they found out. So it's really important. And this isn't about scaring anybody. This is about, if you're making money, you have to pay some tax. It's as simple as that. So an accountant is going to be able to tell you when the first time you have to submit a tax return, how much tax you're going to have to pay, but more importantly, actually, are there ways that we can minimize that tax? Are there things that you can do to actually put steps in place when you're buying the property or after, when you're buying your second or third property that says, but if you do it this way now, we can save you some tax.
And you talk about saving tax there, because that always becomes one of those, does that sound like tax avoidance or tax?
Absolutely.
When you say about saving on tax, that's an important one, because people get that's all, Jersey or something like that, and people get scared by what we hear in the news. But it's actually okay to minimise your tax.
100%. And you mentioned there's tax avoidance, tax evasion. It doesn't matter what the words are. HMRC have very specific guidelines about what is allowable. An allowable expense against your rental property. And if you're a first-time buyer, for example, or you've been investing, but you're an investor, you're not an accountant. We can just tell you what these are 100% legitimate ways that you can minimize your tax. There's plenty of them. I know one of the things that has come about quite a bit recently is actually forming a limited company in order to make some savings. Absolutely, 100% legitimate, a fantastic way for investors to save money. But it can be scary for people, but with a good accountant and with that power team in place, we can just make it so much easier for people.
And so I think that's one of the questions we were going to ask, and I think that's brilliant. You've alluded to that if you're talking about investing, how much you pay on tax is why you should definitely have an accountant. Because there's no point making money if you're going to spend all that money back out. You might as well not do it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And that's for the accountant. That's for everybody in this power tier. It's about being ahead of the game.
Fantastic.
It's always about being ahead of the game, being proactive, knowing what's coming up in future tax years, for example. And if you spend all your time doing that, who's going out finding the property? Who's going out, making sure all that side, that business side. That's why people get involved in this. They don't want to start filling in loads of tax returns and loads of paperwork. They don't want to go and find the best mortgage. They don't want to do all that kind of thing. That's where
focus on what I'm doing.
That's where your power team
Fantastic.
comes in.
So how do you find? And here's a question. How do you find a good accountant? Well, So I'm starting off. Obviously, would recommend yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, obviously. But how do you find a good accountant?
So one way only, and that is from a direct recommendation from somebody you know and trust already.
Excellent.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Because there's thousands of that there, isn't there?
There really are. And some have fantastic marketing campaigns to get you in the door. Some will say they're going to charge you less money for the services that they're going to do. And all those things are just there. They're all marketing things. For me, the only way is to ask your friends, ask your colleagues, ask somebody that you trust. Who have you used? Who can you recommend? Because you're just getting a head start on building up. It's such an important relationship with the accountant.
Excellent.
You need to have good communication. You need to be talking all the time. They need to be proactive, and you just need to trust them. But if you're getting that recommendation from somebody you already trust,
you start trust.
You're getting a head start.
Because it is a relationship. I think that's the key word.
It's everything.
Look for someone you can build a good relationship with. You can be honest with, and say, look, this is what I've done. This is where I'm at. I need you, to be able to help me here.
And just to go back to those people that come in the door, Tyler,
it's a bit
of a problem.
My friend.
I got a bit of a problem. But they didn't just come in and think, I'm going to hope that Tyler's a good guy and he's going to listen to me and he's going to help me. They were recommended to us. They said, look, go and see Tyler. He will give you some honest advice and I can trust him. So it's all about relationships.
So on the flip side then, so I found a good one, but what can be the downfalls of finding a bad? Because there's good and bad in every industry. What would you say if you find the wrong accountant? What can be the things that could go wrong there?
So of course there could be a lack of knowledge. That's always possible. But I don't think it's a problem, something that people should worry about. I think all accountants, reputable accountants, we all have the same amount of knowledge. For me, that bad accountant is the one that isn't a good communicator. That maybe just isn't proactive.
Fantastic.
Those are the things for me.
That
says, I sent all my stuff over to the accountant, but I haven't heard. And a month and 2 months go by, and then 3 weeks before the tax year or 3 weeks before the year end, the accounts need to be filed. It's like, are you chasing them? And you're chasing them.
Right.
If you're chasing them, if you're always being the one that's instigating that communication, they're not a good accountant.
Something's wrong.
They should be on.
I like you made a good point actually, and this is a real life fact. With the changes with the tax laws and being more tax efficient to being a limited company, we have an accountant and he never said to me, you should be looking at this dental. He knew how many properties we had, and that's the key word that you mentioned, being proactive. That's really important. So with your clients, you're always doing that.
Always. It's just about looking down. I mean, for us specifically, we've got a list of clients. We look down them once a month and we say, are we doing everything we can for these people? Do we need to do anything else? Is there
Yeah.
anything else we can do? Like I say, it's everything.
Yeah.
We talked about those direct referrals. They don't come
Yeah.
because a client of mine says, hey, you know what, you should go and use Tyler.
Yeah.
Use Nabarro Poole Limited. They did my tax return. They did it right.
Excellent.
And they did it before the deadline. Nobody cares. That's brilliant. It was right, and I didn't get any penalties.
Yeah,
They're referring me because they say he's a nice guy to work with.
Yeah.
You can talk to him. I got a really good relationship with him.
Excellent.
That's what builds those referrals. So it's not just me saying I want to be proactive. I want to help my clients. I want to help my clients. There's a flip side to that coin, which is that's going to help me grow my business. If I give you a fantastic service, that's the only way you're going to go and tell your friends and colleagues.
I love that.
So proactivity is everything.
Excellent. Now, a lot of the investors that we're talking to as a company are coming from down south, and you're based in the beautiful part of Manchester.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference where your accountant lives? So if we've got investors down in London and you're in Manchester, do I need someone who's really on my doorstep, or does it matter?
For me, I think specifically when you're talking about investors in London,
Yeah.
I think there's actually a really good benefit to having, if you're going to be investing up in Manchester,
Up north,
then actually you could have your power team up here.
Yeah.
I think that's a part of it.
Excellent.
That power team, the letting agent, everybody's going to understand the local community, understand the local market. But there's another element that says the internet gives us plenty of options.
Yeah.
The internet, video conferencing, all those things. So actually, it's not as important as it was.
Yeah.
I think we can do a lot remotely.
Excellent.
We have a number of clients that are based down in London that work with us up here. There is a price. I said it's not important, but everything's more expensive in London. Yeah. So there is an opportunity to actually make some savings that way. Excellent. But again, I never focus on price. It's all about service. Yeah.
Brilliant. So if we were talking about, because the market is changing, and you did different legislations all the time, what would you say is the number one thing at the moment that people who are coming into the market or who are already mature in the market potentially, what's some of the important changes? You talked about obviously the tax vehicle now of limited companies. Would you say that's the big one at the moment that everyone should be aware of?
It is, definitely, especially for people who, like you say, these mature investors, these people that have a lot of properties, they're making good money through property. For these people, the biggest change has been the changes in interest relief, mortgage interest relief, and we won't go through it in too much detail. But essentially, that same an investor in the last couple of tax years could with the exact same investments, the exact same level of mortgage, his tax rate between 2017 and 2020 is just going to skyrocket, and he could be spending literally 10 times more in terms of tax. His costing more in tax, and there's opportunities. It's not for everybody, but there's opportunities to set up a limited company, which these new rules don't apply to.
Fantastic.
But there's always something. I think we did I did a little preparation. I thought I'll just look back through some of the tax changes over the last few years. If you just Google it, there's an insane amount. They're just changing the rules all the time. HMRC want as much of your money as they can possibly get. So we need to be working on the other side to say, okay, that's the new rule. Is there a way that we can now change the vehicle or change the portfolio, make some change, again, being proactive in order to counteract some of those changes that HMRC make.
Brilliant.
They want your money, I want you to keep your money.
And that's
it.
that constant battle between the two.
Absolutely, always.
And you talked about a service, actually. I was going to leave it to the end, but we're talking about this new vehicle now. So if we've got an investor and we say, Tyler, this guy, he's a high tax earner, wants to get into properties, we think the limited company would be right. What does that cost? Give us some type of numbers that we could potentially be looking at for a service like that.
Absolutely, no problem. So I think what's been fantastic over the last little bit is we've been talking about power teams. And for that investor to be able to look at an entire group of services. So to look at the accounts, to look at the cost of the solicitors, to look at what the letting agents, for whoever it is, wherever that investor comes to first. So if he hears about me, I want to be able to say, well, this is exactly what it's going to cost you. We're looking at approximately £300, £300 plus that.
So that sets them up as a limited company?
Yeah, you get your limited company set up, you know that your taxes are going to be taken care of, you know, we're going to be proactive. Not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then importantly, it's important for me to be able to then say, oh, and plus, you want to go a letting agent?
Yeah. I
know one, and this is what he charges.
Yeah.
I've got a mortgage advisor, and I know what he charges.
Yeah.
And we can now say to them, look, this whole package, everything you're going to need, and this is exactly what it's going to cost you, and when it's going to cost you down.
This is like real hands-off investing.
It really is. It really is.
I think I might start investing myself again.
Absolutely.
I'm hooked.
Absolutely. Look, what am I meeting? What am I meeting after this?
Excellent. So £300 gets them set up.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so if we ask the final question then, what's that one thing you'd say to anyone who's looking as a new investor? What's that one tip that you'd give to any new investor coming in with your experience?
So, again, this is an easy one for me.
Yeah.
Don't try and do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one. You've got into investing because it's something that you like.
Yeah.
If you're spending all your time trying to find the right mortgage, trying to do your own taxes, trying to create a limited company, all those things, you're not doing the thing you really want to do.
Yeah.
Don't try and do it all yourself, and just surround yourself with people that you trust.
Excellent. Some really good advice. Really, really good advice. Well, you know, hopefully, okay, shortly on interview, but powerful. Now, I obviously can recommend that. I've been investing now for over 10 years, and I have a power team. And my power team do it all for me. I don't worry about it. I don't have the time to worry about it, and I don't want to worry about it. So obviously we've got a limited company now. That came about from my broker, who actually was who said, Denzel, you should be looking at this. I was like, makes sense, and now we're saving money on tax, which makes sense. So listen, if you're interested in investing, if you're already investing, and obviously you want to know more about Tyler and the accountancy firm, let us know, and we'll give you all those details. So thanks for joining us. Let's go out there and make some money.